Hello everybody and welcome. This is History Dude, and today we will be continuing our series of the history of battle, focusing on the Fall of Nineveh. Now, in 626 BCE, Nabopolassar, this fine gentleman right here, whose background is unknown, took the throne of Babylon, then subject to the Assyrian Empire. By 616 BCE, he had evicted the Assyrian garrisons in the region and then began probing attacks into Assyrian territory along the middle section of the Euphrates River, plundering and sacking cities. The Assyrians' ineffective response encouraged Nabopolassar to push farther north, and in 615 his forces penetrated the Assyrian heartlands as far as the city of Ashur. There he suffered a serious defeat, however, and was forced to take refuge in the citadel of Tikrit. But the Assyrians, now under fire from another enemy, the Medes, were unable to follow up on their success. Led by Cyaxares, the Medes formed an alliance with the Babylonians that sealed Assyria's fate. In 612 BCE, Cyaxares and Nabopolassar's armies joined up in Babylonia and marched north to the Assyrian capital, Nineveh, which fell after a 3-month siege. And here is a very, very low resolution image of what that siege might have looked like. And here's a map of what the actual city of Nineveh looks like from above. And just to give you a little background on the city, Nineveh, which was situated at the confluence of the Tigris and Kosor rivers near modern-day Mosul, Iraq, was first settled in the 7th millennium BCE. According to the Bible, Nimrod was the founder of the city in Genesis 10 verse 11. Now, major excavations took place under the direction of Henry Layard from 1845 to 1854. And this is the diagrams of those excavations. And around 1000 BCE, there was a great revival of Assyrian power, and Nineveh became a royal city. And it had lots of luxuries such as public squares, parks, botanical gardens, and it even had a zoo. And one of the great archaeological finds of the period is the library of King Ashurbanipal, which he lived between 669 and 627 BCE. And the size of the city was about 1,850 acres. And Nineveh eventually fell to the Medes and Babylonians in 612, as we've just said. The invading armies dammed the rivers that supplied water to the city, causing a flood that broke through one of the perimeter walls, giving the foreign armies access to the city. And the Assyrian king sin-shar-ishkun was probably killed, and the city was certainly looted and sacked. With Egyptian support, the Assyrians continued to fight and moved their capital farther west to Haran. But in 608 BCE, Haran itself fell. The Assyrian Empire was crumbling. Now, here you can see a relief of a chariot with spoked wheels. Now, the spoked wheels on the chariot in this Assyrian relief were a development from earlier solid wheels, but during the first millennium BCE, cavalry superseded chariots. As you can see here, this is an Assyrian horseman mounted on horseback, and these horsemen were replacing the chariots, because as you see, the Assyrians still used chariots, introducing heavier 4-man vehicles, but by the end of the 8th century BCE, cavalry was overtaking chariots in importance. Steppe horsemen such as the Scythians had shown the effectiveness of lightly armored mounted archers who could outrun enemies and subject them to arrow fire from powerful composite bows. By the late years of the Assyrian Empire, mounted archers were a vital component of its army, which also equipped its horsemen with spears. The advent of cavalry brought a new flexibility of maneuver to the battlefield. And that is about it for the siege of Nineveh. I hope you have enjoyed this and found it entertaining and educational. And as always, remember to have an awesome day.